It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I wanted to react and have a discussion about a video from JCGlitchmaster titled "We Need to Talk About Kill Switches." And honestly, I wanted to talk about it too. So that's why we're here.
Now, if the past has taught us anything, probably not. But we have to have a serious rethink behaviour of how you handle these types of issues. I'll be the one to say it. There is enough content in Dead by Daylight for you to go buck wild on the kill switches. You can McCree high noon 90% of the game, and there's still more content than any of your competitors combined. It does not matter if one perk was bugged, like Streetwise. Why doesn't it matter? Because there are 300 perks behaviour. It's not like half the content of your game is going to get deleted if you kill switch a single perk. This also,
I have to point out that if they were to actually kill switch literally any perk that needs any help, any problems that needs to be fixed, the game would still be perfectly fine to play, even if it were something meta, you know, something ridiculously strong and stuff like that. I don't really believe that it'll really need that much. I have to say that if they were to kill switch any perks, I really don't think it would really matter in the grand scheme of things personally. Obviously we already know that there are like 300 perks, like how it's been mentioned, and if it were something meta, I mean, they'll most likely find something that is equally as meta to just go ahead and use that instead. So doesn't seem like it really will make that much of a difference, but who knows.
goes to the killers, like with the Nemesis play with your food bug, which allowed him to just keep all of the stack. If a killer has a bug on them that is really bad, like infinite play with your food, kill switching that killer, while it does suck for main to those killers, isn't a terrible idea, because there are 39 other killers that you can choose from. 38 if you don't already own Goldilocks.
I must be going now.
I think that anybody with a functioning brain could pretty easily say what should constitute a kill switch and what shouldn't constitute a kill switch. Another example going on at the time of this recording is Blood Rush. It's breaking exhaustion and making it recharge while you sprint. That should also get kill switched because, again, it's fundamentally broken. Now, is it as bad as infinite toolboxes and medkits like with Streetwise? No, it's not. But it's pretty hard to make something as bad as infinite toolboxes and medkits. But somehow, you manage to justify it being in the game because, and I quote, there are much worse bugs in the game right now than.
I still have to say, this is one of the worst responses that you could have for a situation like this, just to say, hey, you know, there's other stuff that's broken too. And it's like, yeah, like, maybe don't say that part, you know, just, it's not really good for the overall image of the company, I have to say, in this situation. Either you just say, hey, Streetwise does not meet the kill switch criteria, and maybe explain what that consists of so that people can kind of understand a little bit better as to what something, you know, needing to be kill switched is. That honestly would do a lot more for people than just saying it doesn't meet it and then they're saying, hey, there's other bugs. It's like, we know there's other bugs. Like, the whole point is that we already have, you know, shown examples stated that these things are occurring. And the problem is that they're not being fixed or kill switched. There's no reason to. All you had to say was Streetwise does not meet the kill switch criteria, but we're working on it and we're keeping an eye on it. That's it. That's all you had to say. It is still, you know, is a problem that it's not kill switched, but at least you let people know, look, we're looking into it. We're trying our best to fix it. You know, we need a little time. Maybe that would have been a little bit better, but that is not the statement that you want to make, I have to say.
No one is asking me about that affect things a lot worse. Jesus Christ, behavior. I can't believe I have to actually say this. Behavior, listen to me. When it comes to bugs, it isn't a fucking competition. We aren't in a world where we can only address the most game-breaking bugs. You literally developed a system for the game to temporarily fix game-breaking exploits in the form of kill switches. It's the entire purpose.
I completely agree with JCGlitchmaster here. In my opinion, I think they should be more deliberate with how much they do kill switch things. Which on one hand I can understand maybe the mentality, you know, if they were to kill switch everything, like every time it would break or something like that, I think that everybody would lose access to a killer at some point every other day. I would say. I think that's why they tried to make it a little bit more strict as to what counts as being worth kill switching, or at least what meets the criteria, so that everybody is still able to use their characters and purchased abilities and stuff like that. On the other hand, I will have to say though that if it is an exploit of this extent, where they are doing something that is not intentional to this level, where you're gaining an unfair advantage in the game, such as the merciless storm bug that did regress the gens from completing skill checks, something like this, for example, where it's increasing the gen speed unfairly, which it already is unfair, but even more so than it is before. I would say that would be the way to go about it. You kill switch the thing that people are having a problem with, so that people are not complaining about it, and then you can kind of keep, you know, your public perception just a little bit better. You know, this is the same development team that was asking for the Labor of Love award, and yet we see this. So it really just kind of goes to show that they're really still undeserving of such an award, when there's, you know, even smaller development teams that will be a lot more deliberate with how they decide to fix things. And I have to say that it's not looking too good. I as I've said many times, I think they should have just done it, just so that people can stop talking about it, because there's multitudes of other bugs. If you want to just kill switch it and work on it later, just do that, but at least take that out of the game immediately, so that if even there's a chance that it could blow up, just cut it off right off the bat. Just rip out the little sproutling of controversy or hate or whatever the heck you want to call it, just so that you can catch it early, so you don't have to get like yelled at by the whole community collectively just so you could fix one thing. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me, you know?
That it's in the game, so if there is a game critical bug, you can prevent it from affecting lobbies. The idea that you decided not to kill switch a perk that granted infinite item charges because there are other worse bugs in the game is hands down the most tone deaf thing that you could have said, which for the record is something that you should not be admitting to so nonchalantly. If everyone is telling you, hey guys, this bug is literally game breaking and destroys the playability of matches, your response being, well, there are worse bugs, is showcasing how fucked the state of the game is. Do you understand that? The Streetwise bug alone is so bad that it would constitute an immediate hotfix from any other live service game. They sure as hell wouldn't try to justify it by admitting to more game breaking bugs in the game. I simply don't understand why this is the hill you're choosing to die.
I kind of agree with JCGlitchmaster on this as well. I'm going to bring up a game that has definitely lost all its players, which is a little game called v.h.s.x, which there was a point where, you know, that game actually was active and there were players, and there was a point that the one character that I cared about playing was Jason Voorhees. Had a strange bug where he was able to kind of like, he would actually stick to other characters or something like that, because he had like a grab attack, and it would actually stick to other players. So what he would be able to do is either grab them or somehow collide with them and then be able to kind of like keep them attached, and he would just jump off the ledge. And you know, it was pretty game breaking, right? Because you're basically going against the function of the game. You're knocking people off of the stages. And also you're unable to really play. They're not unable to really play. So immediately they disabled him from the roster. He was unplayable for like about a day or so, and then he came back and he was fixed and he was fine. And what's crazy to me is that game was still not even that popular. Still really did not have that much of a following. Was not even considered that sort of you know, even to the scale of DBD at this point, you know what I mean? Not even close. I mean, even though it was one of the first games that has gotten Jason Voorhees in since the actual game release, but that's besides the point. They we're quicker than DBD to, and as a small team like that, to just quickly go remove. And it's happened even with another character, which is the Iron Giant. They would just, like, the second that the character was bugged, broken, or anything, they would immediately disable it, kill switch it, whatever you want to call it. In Fortnite terms, vault it, stuff like that. Immediately, like any other live service game, immediately they're removing it out of there. Like, well, it's bugged. We gotta get it out of there. You know, because for whatever reason, smaller teams or other teams are more quick to just remove something from the game that's bugged. And what's funny to me is that people are talking about, well, at one point had spoken about the Fortnite-ification of DBD, but if they are going to, which I don't really entirely agree with that sort of statement, but if they are going to follow those footsteps, why not take the good parts of it, like the quick kill switching of things that are broken so that you can fix them later, you know, disabling things so that you can show, hey, we care about our game's health, we care about the community, we care about the people who play this game and give us their money. We are showing that we're highly aware of what's going on with our game and we want to make sure that everyone can enjoy it, so we're going to disable some things and it'll be back soon, but just, you know, just know that we're doing this for the health of the game, for the greater good, you know. Why is that so, like, such a foreign concept for this game, though? Like any other live service, I mean, Fortnite is a good example as well. Like they vault stuff all the time, you know, not even for being bugged, but just because they're switching out things. But they also, if there is a bug going on that's game breaking, within the day you're most likely seeing a tweet or even a, like, something coming out, or a notification somewhere saying, hey, we're going to kill switch this or something. It's just insane to me. I just don't understand. Like, and even a tiny game like Multiversus, pretty much, like, absolutely barely anybody would have played that. That player base was awful. Barely had funding, and still was able to be aware of bugs and issues and remove and disable things in a timely manner. I don't get it. I really don't understand it.
On behavior. Mintskull made a great comparison to Pirate Software, which, for those of you who don't know, he's a creator who's had numerous controversies over the past couple of months because of his ego. More importantly, refusing to admit when he's in the wrong. He would double and triple down on the dumbest things instead of just holding his hands up and admitting that he's fucked up. And it's literally what behavior just did. They pulled a Pirate Software. Instead of saying, you know what, guys, Streetwise is fucked, so before it destroys lobbies, we've kill switched it for the health of the game. Your response, it's not that bad, guys. Not too many people are using it. That's not a response behavior. That's the stupidest thing you could have possibly said. I get it. You're probably in full panic mode because this patch is a fucking disaster, okay? Just own up to your fuck ups. Pretending like things aren't that bad is not how you deal with these situations. Again, guys, you're Dead by Daylight. You've been adding 9 years of content to this game. One chapter has more content than Texas Chainsaw Massacre added in a year. It's okay to kill switch a single perk that is literally breaking your game.
I completely agree once again with JCGlitchmaster. He's making an extremely valid point. Like, other asymmetrical games have either died like immediately or have not reached even close to the success of DBD. Like, you're kind of a titan in this sort of market, you know. And I'm not saying that they can do no wrong, but what I am saying is that they do have a little bit of leeway in that sense. They're not going to lose fans for or people playing because they care enough about their game to stop things from being bugged or to disable things that are broken. I would honestly believe that you would bring in more people and more fans and more supporters to your side because you're actually actively taking the time out to care about your game, to actually look at the health of the game, and to show, hey, I'm going to disable this because it's bugged, we're all, you know, it's not working properly, it'll be back soon, and in turn you're gonna get the favor of the masses. You know what I mean? I just don't understand why doing the inverse and pretending that it's not, that everything is fine. I don't understand how that could possibly even be the correct answer in the situation, because you're only just making the situation worse. I don't understand it.
was using Streetwise for the past week doing a funny loot box build, avoiding the bug actively. As someone who was actively using this perk as it was intended, I would not have cared if you kill switched it out the blue. Whoever you have over there making the decisions on this, that threw the poor community manager under the bus, get them sorted out. Take them to the side and explain to them keeping game-breaking exploits in your game that let you do the objectives in less than half the time, probably not the hill that you want to die on. And
I have to also mention that this is this game already has a gen rushing issue. Like, as I've said many videos, many times, it already has that problem. It has a lot of the, like, in those types of matches, obviously, you know, like, I do have to preface, it doesn't always apply to every single like player in a lot of ways, I would say, because I mean, there's different sort of brackets to who kind of will experience what. Like even for myself, when I have picked up Survivor in the very, very rare of occasions, my teammates were just not on gens at all. But if we're talking about people who possibly like main Survivor consistently and at least win their games, you know, they understand that they're either, you know, their teammates are most likely pushing gens 2 at a time or more. And, you know, when I'm playing killer especially, I'm going against those kinds of teams that are pushing gens like 2 at a time at least. Like, you know, you're getting it down and you're immediately hearing at least 2 pop, you know what I mean? Even if the chase is like 10 seconds long or not. And ultimately, the idea that there's a bug that only adds on to that issue is only going to make the game even worse to play than it is, which is just not a good move. It should have been like, which I don't know why that's just not a thing when it comes down to this balancing. Like, can we do something about the gen problem? Like, can we do something about the healing problem? Can we do something about other aspects of the meta that are just is not favorable? But you know, that's just not something that we can say happens with this game, unfortunately. And I have heard points that that the devs kind of lean a little bit more to the Survivor end, which is somewhat understandable. I mean, there's more players objectively on that end than it is on the other side of things, and obviously on top of that, we're talking about a community that is very vastly, like, incredibly casual. Like, and of course, Survivor is the more casual of the two. I mean, you quite literally spend most of your time on a machine, or you're running from the killer for about maybe 10 to 15 seconds at a time. So you're pretty much not really having to necessarily worry about the macro or have really to worry about strategy as heavily, considering that you just being on a gen is pressure by itself. And that is, you know, the thing. And I mean, even you can notice if you ever got on like Twitch to even look up DVD, it's like a completely different ball game. Like you only will see people on Survivor, I think, because it's the most casual that it could be. And it's you know, it's understandable, you know what I mean, and that's the root of a lot of things. And ultimately, I think that while on some ends I can believe that maybe the devs do want to lean to that end, because it is more marketable to do that, and of course, like most creators are on that side, so they kind of want a piece to that. I don't think that they should also forget that killer players exist. I don't think that is something to do, but whatever.
And in the future, maybe think, I don't know, for 5 seconds before you tell your community manager to relay the dumbest information you possibly could. Play your game. Is that too much to ask? Because clearly you don't. Nobody who plays this game for any length of time could justify Streetwise being the state it was. And it shouldn't take literally the entire community and every content creator you have telling you that it's broken for you to bother fixing it. Sorry that this...
Well, the only thing that I will say, though, in contrast to what JCGlitchmaster is saying, is that there definitely are people that genuinely believe that Streetwise should be this broken. There are genuinely, like, very delusional people that truly believe that Streetwise should be this broken, that the Fog Vials should be this broken, like they should have all these problems in this game, for whatever reason. I mean, and I gotta say, like, it's kind of mind-blowing that people like this exists, but yeah, like I may not understand it, but it definitely it exists. But yeah, I will agree though that the more sane of the community do agree with JCGlitchmaster and myself in the sense that we want the game to be balanced, as you can imagine.
This one wasn't really edited and was basically just me ranting. I already fully edited the previous video, like I said, so I didn't have time to edit yet another. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next.
So with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video, man. Check out JCGlitchmaster's channel. I will be linking this video in the description so you can watch it, or check out his other videos. While you're down there, you can look at some ways to support my channel with the links. You can also join the Discord to continue the conversation about whatever you want to yap about, and maybe follow on Twitch to watch me play Kill Live. Also, if you're on TikTok, go ahead and follow on there, man. We got like we got some pretty funny clips on there, and yeah, check out the other videos. I will see you guys in the next one.